guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to today's weekly check-in. So today we're going to be tracking our week 3 expenses. So we're basically going to be taking a look at what we've spent, compare it to our budget, and see where we're at for the month. I prefer to do a weekly check-in as opposed to just kind of doing like a budget and then a results video or like a results tally at the end, because I feel like with the weekly check-in, you're not surprised at the end, which is super important to me, because in the past when I've tried to budget, I would create a budget, not really follow through with it, and at the end of the month I would be like, why did I not save what I thought I was going to save? Why did I spend so much money? And so doing the weekly check-in just kind of ensures that I know what's going on and that I can make adjustments based off of what we're doing. So the categories that I like to track every single week are the same. So if you watched these weekly check-ins for a while, then you're probably so sick of hearing me say this, but we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Groceries, eating out, household, gas for our cars, and then anything that may be unbudgeted. So groceries and eating out are separate because we try to eat out only 1 or 2 times a week, and for the most part we're eating at home. Household is also separate because when we're doing like grocery hauls and stuff like that, Jason's normally doing those, and he'll go to like Aldi or Jewel, and then I will go to like Target, or sometimes we go to Costco for some of the household items. And honestly, those are just normally 2 separate trips. I feel like groceries and household combined could just get really out of hand, so we like to keep those separate. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of unbudgeted, we do have like an unbudgeted line item in our budget, but we always budget 0 for that. It's honestly just kind of a placeholder for anything random that may come up. And honestly, for the most part, we don't have a ton of unbudgeted items. Like usually it's just like, you know, if we do, it's something completely random that just came up. And for the most part, I would say that our budget really encompasses most expenses, but this month I had like an orthodontist deposit that I put down, so of course we had an unbudgeted item there. So we're gonna track groceries first. I have my key here, and I, again, say this every time, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it again because I may have someone who's new and super confused by this whole process. So if we get any like extra income, any miscellaneous income that's aside from my business, then I'll put that in green. Groceries are going to be in pink. Gas for our cars is in yellow. Household is in gray. Anything that is other. So if I have just a random thing, like for example, if we had like a car seat that we put in our budget for the month, then it would be in other. It would be in purple. I've done bills in blue before, but kind of now recently I've been just putting it in my actual budget, so you won't really see much blue. Unbudgeted is going to be in orange, and then eating out is in peach. So let's start with our groceries first. So we've had a few grocery items. So we had Target of $9.98. That was actually for Macy's snack for school. So like once a month at her school, we have to bring a snack for the whole class. And so that was $9.98. And then we had Jewel of $20.45 and Aldi of $108.99, which brings us to a total of $139.42 for the month, or sorry, for the week. And if you guys are familiar with our budget, you know that our budget really is only $125 per week. In the past couple of weeks, we've been a little bit under budget, so that definitely helps with, you know, higher weeks like this. But we're gonna go ahead and see how much we have left going forward. So we spent $139.42. Last time we had $347.65 remaining, which means that now we have $208.23. Now we budget every Monday for groceries because we go grocery shopping every Monday. I like doing that. I feel like it's super easy to create a week's worth of meals. I am very much like, you know how people say they're like mood readers, like they just kind of have to be in the mood for certain books. I'm definitely like a mood eater. I have to be in the mood for certain things. Otherwise, it's just like eating paper to me. I don't know. I've always been like that. I'm not pregnant. It's just like a thing that's always been the case with me. So for me, like creating anything over a week's worth of meals is just too hard, because I honestly will probably not want anything if it's that far out. So we meal plan and budget for every week. And so we do it based off the number of Mondays in the month, because that's when we go grocery shopping. Jason will go Monday night when it's like calm and peaceful at the grocery store. So if we divide 208 divided by 2, because there's 2 more Mondays, that leaves us with 104.12 remaining per week. So we budget 125 per week, so 104 is definitely lower than what we typically have, but I think it's doable. I don't think there's anything crazy that should be happening. I'm going to just, you know, tell Jason, okay, try and keep it around the $100 mark. Let's not buy like steaks or anything crazy. I know that we did have steak, or we're going to have steak. We had steak and ribs like this past week, so those are a little bit more expensive, but I think sticking around 104 should be just fine for us. Okay, next is going to be eating out. So for eating out, I think we've been eating out a lot more, and I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that we've been like really busy. So Jason comes and helps me cut stickers like between 2 or 3 times a week, and so sometimes we'll just like grab like a drink or something from McDonald's, and it's just a quick thing. We also have gotten into this routine where he helps me cut stickers on Fridays, and we'll go out to lunch together with Mila, and it's just kind of nice to like, you know, do something together, even if it's just for, you know, 30 minutes to an hour. So we have a lot of little tiny things here and there. So we have $6.54 from Thursday. We have $6.10. We have $15.96. We have $3.25, and sometimes we'll just like grab like a McFlurry or something at night. And so there seems to be a lot of McDonald's, but I promise you most of it's just either drinks or getting like a snack, you know, some type of snack. Then we have Uber Eats. That was $20.50. I don't really do Uber Eats very often, but when I do, I try and tip generously, because I feel like it's a lot for those people like waiting at restaurants and stuff like that. So anyway, that was $20.50. And then we had $7.73, $9.62, oops, and $7.34. So that brings us to a total of $77.04, which guys, it adds up so quick. I swear we just had like a couple little items, but after you like have a bunch of those, it just ends up being a lot more. So we left off last week with $106.89 remaining, which means that we now have $29.85 remaining. And if we take a look at the number of weekends we have left, we have 2 more weekends, which really doesn't give us very much left. So we have $14.93 remaining per week. So not very much at all. I think at the end of the month, I think on the 29th, me and Jason are going to try and plan a date night. So we'll see. We'll see if we end up doing that. But if we do end up doing that, the date night will come out of our entertainment fund, and so we won't really have any eating out that day. But the other option is, if we run out, like if the $29 is not enough, we could both use our allowances. That's always an option. So just, you know, something to keep an eye on. We definitely don't have very much room to work with that. Next is going to be household. Last time we checked in, we were $4.06 over, and I made it a point last week to tell you guys that I was planning to pick up a like new towel set. I haven't done any research yet. A bunch of people said that Costco has good options, so I may check that out. But we are over, so I'm not going to purchase those this month. That's going to be a next month item. And I'm also thinking about picking up a rug cleaner. So I watched one YouTuber who has one that has like a removable handle so you can do spot treatments. And with kids, I feel like we always need that. we have hardwood floors throughout our entire house, so we have throw rugs, and we go through throw rugs like it's nobody's business with the kids. Like there's always stains, someone throws up, it's just not good. So I was thinking that like with the like rug cleaner, we could spot treat it, we could, you know, use the cleaner, and I like the idea of this specific one that I'm thinking about because it also has the option to dry the rug instantly. So instead of having to wait like 24 hours for the rug to dry, there's like a setting where you can get it to dry. So I'm definitely gonna be adding some more money to our household budget for June, but I figured I would just kind of mention that. That's something that's gonna be on hold. We did pick up, let's see, what did we pick up? I think this was $7.98. Maybe this is like Q-tips and stuff. I think we were running out of Q-tips. Anyway, $7.98 for household that we spent. So not bad, but still we're going to be over budget a little bit. So $7.98 plus $4.06. We are over by $12.04 for household. And then moving on to gas for our cars. We have only filled up one car so far, so that was, and let me mark these off. The reason why I check these, and I haven't mentioned this in a while, so I figured this might be a good thing to mention. I like to check these off as I'm recording items in my weekly check-in, so I know that I'm not missing anything. So if I look through and I see anything that's not checked, that means that I haven't recorded it yet. So that's kind of why I do that. It just helps, like just in case, like let's say I find a receipt and I'm like, oh crap, I had something for the 7th. I put it in here and then I never like actually bring it into my weekly check-in. I use my weekly check-in when I'm doing my actuals in my budget. So instead of like going back and like adding up all of the individual colors, what I do is I use my weekly check-in, and then like let's say we're starting here, I would know that if I did $625 for my budget minus the $208, that would be what I've spent for the month so far for groceries. But if I don't do it that way, then I have to add up every single item in pink, and that's just kind of a hassle. So doing the check mark system just makes it a lot easier. I don't have to worry about missing anything. I know that everything is recorded. So that's something that is really helpful. But in terms of gas, we spent $25.56. And last time we checked in, we had $45.49. So I subtract that out. That means that we currently have $19.93. So we are what? Today's the 19th. I'm guessing that both cars will have to be filled up again. So we're gonna be over when it comes to gas. I mentioned this in last week's video as well, but Jason and Macy did go visit Jason's brother in Indiana. It's a 4-hour drive one way, so it was quite a bit of gas. I think that's kind of what's setting us over. I really do think the 150 mark would be just fine for us. But again, because of that, we're gonna be slightly over, which is totally fine. Honestly, guys, I put together a budget, but if we are like a little bit over and I know why, I'm okay with that. I like to track everything like this, not because like, I'm like, okay, everything has to stick to the budget, blah, blah, blah. It's more just, I wanna know where our money is going, and I want to feel like I have some control over it. Whereas like if you don't budget, if you just kind of spend whatever, I feel like there's less control there. You can't, you know, make informed decisions that way. In terms of unbudgeted, let me mark that off. We have had nothing else, so we're still over budget for unbudgeted by $300, which was, again, my orthodontist deposit. So that is pretty much it for our variable expenses for the month. Nothing super crazy going on there. I feel like we just have to kind of keep an eye on our groceries and eating out, just try and stick below, you know, below the amounts that we have. And then household, as long as we don't like absolutely need something, just stop spending there. Gas for our cars, I feel like with gas, you can say like you're creating a budget all you want and all of that, but if you need to go somewhere, if you have to get to work, you have to get to work. So again, I'm just going to kind of monitor that and see next month in June if 150 is a good amount for us. Okay, we've had lots of sinking fund items. I don't remember where we left off, but I did have a dentist appointment that was $98.24. Jason went to the driving range. That was $9. We took Jason to a birthday lunch. That was $80, a little bit more expensive, but it was definitely worth it. It was really fun to go. Jason treated me for Mother's Day, like a Mother's Day present, to get a pedicure. And the place that I like to go, it's probably the best pedicure that you can get. They like massage your legs and your feet for like 10 minutes on each side. It's amazing. And I love whenever I can go and to like read a book while I'm there. It's just really relaxing. And honestly, I don't do it often because it is a little bit more on the pricey side, but when I do, I'm like, man, I feel so much better after that. So that was $60, including a very generous tip because the guy who helped me was just amazing. Macy actually won a drawing contest or a coloring contest at school. So one of the days last week, we walked up to Dairy Queen and all got ice cream. It was a nice day out, and so we got ice cream, and that came out of entertainment. One of our friends' kids just turned 1, so we got them a little present that was $28.28, and then Jason picked up some diapers and wipes and stuff from Aldi, and that was $14.78. So just really quickly to clarify, with our sinking funds, you see like the Christmas a lot. Our Christmas fund is also like gifts. So for any holidays, birthdays, anything like that, the money comes out of Christmas. And we've been doing this fund for a few years now, I think. And we put $250 away every single month, and then as things come around, like that just takes care of all of that. It's really fun because it gives us the chance to be generous, to do fun things, to really get to celebrate certain things. Like I really liked that when Macy won her contest at school that we were able to just go out for ice cream, and that's not part of Christmas, but you know what I'm saying. It's nice having money set aside for stuff like that so that you don't have to question it, because we are kind of tight on eating out. But because that came out of one of our sinking funds, I felt like we had the permission to spend that money. So anyway, I love sinking funds. I've mentioned this many times before, but I was definitely one of those people that just was not a fan. I didn't get it. And then once our first car insurance came out of our sinking funds, I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like it is so nice just having money set aside. And I'm one of those people, I keep track of our balance in our checking account. I like to see throughout the month it getting higher. I'm really big into just checking it. I feel like it's important to check your accounts, but it's just nice seeing that money go up. And so when you have $1,000 car insurance bill, you see this big drop in your account, and it's not fun. So I've said this before, but with our sinking fund account, we have one checking account for our sinking funds. I don't keep track of that. Of course, I'll check it, but I know that money is really meant to be spent. Some people consider sinking funds like savings accounts, and I get it because you're not spending it every single month. But in my mind, I don't really count that into our money or our savings, because I know at some point all of this is going to be spent on something. And so I guess you're saving towards something, but really that's going to be spent. Whereas some of our savings that we have, I guess if it's not for something specific, it's more just that's gonna build. So I don't know. I consider sinking funds more okay, when I put the money in there, when I put this $1,500 in here, it's gone, it's spent. And I feel like that just makes it easier in my mind to process the fact that when I have to spend a big chunk of money on something, it doesn't hurt as much. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this weekly check-in. Again, I think that we need to just keep an eye on some of our transactions and some of our categories, but for the most part, I feel like we're doing pretty good. Yeah, there's not a ton else to talk about in terms of May. I feel like it's been going good. Next week, I will have all of my budget stuff for June happening, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed getting to hear a little bit about our week. Let me know how your week is going so far. Hopefully you guys are all, having a pretty good month so far. I feel like for us, it's been going pretty smooth. It's getting a little tight now towards the end with some of these categories, but we're doing good so far. So again, let me know how you guys are doing, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.
You said that you needed me like a car